we ended up having to instruct 3 separate firms of attorneys in the US, and these guys came across to London, and we sat down and we spent days going through all the ins and outs and what was happening, looking at the charges, giving a detailed explanation as to why they were rubbish. But by and large, at the end of that process, and this was in early July 2002, the conclusion of the attorneys was, look, 2 things. First of all, they're not remotely interested in you. They don't want you. This is a message to copper. It's a message to Fasto. There's a good chance that this will all go away one way or another. Now, you've got to bear in mind that we had no idea that copper and Fasto had been up to their neck in all kinds of wrongdoing at Enron. It's turned out later, they had been lining their pockets for some years at the expense of Enron. But we had no idea of that at the time. So our view was, this is all going to go away because copper and Fasto are going to come forward and they're going to say, guys, this is bullshit. This is rubbish. This did not happen. And so we were content just to let that run. But the other thing was that under the extradition laws that pertained at the time in 2002, in order to have extradited us for these charges, the US government would have had to have come to London and presented their evidence, and we would have had the opportunity to rebut it and say, well, that's nonsense, and that's nonsense for the following 15 reasons. And so our attorneys said, well, there is no way you're going to America anytime soon unless you want to. We will go and speak to the prosecutors on your behalf. We'll try and explain that this is nonsense and see if they're prepared to let it drop. But don't worry about being extradited because you'll get the chance to fight that here in the UK, and you'll get the chance at that stage to prove why it's nonsense.